So let's start with a really common area, which is around being a working mum. So I know, as a working mum, that even though I'm a therapist and a counsellor and I get all that stuff about feeling and talking and quality time and so forth, of course I still feel very guilty about the lack of time that I spend with my children. It's difficult. I mean, I work a 60-hour week. I live in the country, so I have a 4-hour commute every day, 2 hours each way. You know, I take my slot on that platform with all the other men, generally speaking, and I have my seat on the train, where betide you if you take it. And I go to work and I do a good job. I know that. And then I come home and I have to change hats. I come through the door, and the minute I come through the door, I am mum. And if I'm lucky enough to get back by about 8:30, one of my children will be asleep, or should be asleep, and the other two are just on their way to bed, and they want time, and I want to give them time. And there is that moment that when I speak to parents, because I do a lot of work in schools as well, and when I speak to parents, there is this moment with men and with women, but I'm just talking about me for now, whereby I've been at work, I've had a stressful time, I've travelled back on the train, I've kind of debriefed myself, finished off emails, done all the stuff you need to do. And when I get home, a bit of me wants to be able to come through the door and just be taken care of, you know, take off my coat, put my bag down, sit down, have supper, you know, be nice to have supper on the table, often I do. And to be able to, I kind of just, I suppose they used to call it me time. I don't like the phrase, but I suppose that's what it is. But if I want to put my head on my pillow at night, feeling good about myself, there's a dimension of that where I have to know that I've been the best mother that I possibly can be. And that means when I come through the door and I put down my bag and my kids come running at me to give me a big hug, I need to learn to feel grateful, actually, that they want to do that. I need to know that what I get out of that, giving them a hug, having time, hearing about their day, going upstairs with them, putting them to bed, taking half an hour to sit on the bed and just listen to them, actually means that I sleep better. In that moment when they come to hug me, I can feel, I don't know, kind of angry maybe, that what about me? I've just got through the door. But I need to get over that self-centered moment and know that if I properly connect with my children and I tuck them properly into bed, when I come back downstairs and have something to eat, even if it is an hour later, 3/4 of an hour later, actually, I'm comfortable because I've packed up my businesswoman. I've appropriately put to bed my mother role. And now I can be in kind of wife conversation with my husband. And that happens in a much more measured and calm way when I wholeheartedly accept I am a working mother, which means there's the executive in me, there's the mother in me, there's the wife in me, and there's me in me, and all of those need time. And you need to learn how to give them time. And I have learnt how to give them time, and I now do a lot of work in schools, and I do a lot of work with parents in schools, and a lot of my client base in London, in Harley Street, is with parents who are working parents and are really struggling to find the time for themselves and how they feel alongside all these different roles. What I can tell you categorically is if you come through that door and your kids come up to you, your kids make demands on you, and your response is along the lines of, give me a moment, just give me a minute, and you do that, what you create is a feeling in your children where they will back off. Then you will feel guilty and angry, and it creates another whole kind of emotional dynamic, which you then also have to deal with. It backfires. So if you're not quite ready to walk through the door, if you still feel that you've only just got off the train, only just driven home, you haven't quite finished all those phone calls, take a moment before you get out of your car and walk through your house, into your house, and just take a breath for you. Literally, it can take 2 or 3 minutes to close your eyes and to think about how you feel. Feel the seat in your car. If you're walking, feel your feet in your shoes. Try and feel the temperature on your face. Be aware of the time. Notice your heartbeat. Feel the breath at the end of your nose. And just allow the dust to settle. so that one role can properly be packed up before you walk head first into the other. Because on the one hand, you've got a job, and on the other hand, you've got a family. And the price that I see people paying, regretfully paying, later down the line when they bring their 17, 18, 19-year-old child to me, or indeed when I meet the burnt out exec at 38, 40, 45, the regret for not having taken that time and a bill that they can't go back and pay is a big debt to have to pay. So prevention is better than cure. Please take the time to attend to you so that you don't accrue those debts.